campaign was the costliest and perhaps the nastiest in the U.S. history. Inspired Obama. Thanks, supporters. Election 2012. President Obama smiles during his acceptance speech in Chicago. Wow. What a day. What a day to remember. This is the day that we went out to the polls so we could do the right thing to get this great man, this great presidential candidate, to get him reelected to office. And we did that. I want everybody to congratulate yourselves, because if you went out and to vote, 2 thumbs up for you. But if you didn't go out to vote, shame on you. Hi, I want to introduce myself to everybody. My name is Davine Dantzler. For those of you all who know me, I am a gospel, hip-hop, rap artist, if there is such a thing. I like to think of my music as being inspirational. But a lot of people know me on Facebook for all of my blogs and posts that I like to put up on Facebook. A lot of the stuff opinionated, my opinion, the way I see things. A lot of people seem to gravitate towards the ministry that I have, if it's considered a ministry. But I just decided today to get started with doing my video blogs. And I want to give an extra big shout out to Ursula Robinson, who, when I put something on Facebook, she read it and said, wow, people need to hear this. You need to start you a blog site. But I actually do have a blog site. It's DavineDantzler.com. But she also said that you might want to do it in a video because people don't really like to read. And I was like, wow, okay. And I thought about it. I was like, that's a fantastic idea. So I want to give a big shout out to Ursula Robinson for giving me such a fabulous idea that I don't have to waste hours pecking on some computer. I can just use my Samsung Galaxy 3 phone and just start a blog. So today I'd like to thank you all to my first blog. And this blog today is pretty much dealing with the elections. And, you know, I went out there and I voted. This is actually my second year voting. And I voted for Obama the first time when he ran back in 2008. I went out and I voted for him. It was a different experience because I had never voted before in my life. So when I went out to the polls, it was just an experience. But here's what this post is really about today. Is that most people, like myself, that was in the streets, you know, making street money, I really didn't care about politics. Didn't care about none of that stuff that was going on. So for so many years, I considered myself not even to be an American citizen. I just felt like I was just somebody here on earth. So all this time while I'm out here making this, street money, I'm out here making this money. I wasn't out there selling dope or selling drugs, but it all relates to what the point that I'm trying to make. Is that when you're out there making street money, whether it be drugs or you're robbing people or whatever it is you're doing, that you're making this unsolicited money that is not recorded, that has no paper trail, should they say, like in the streets, you tend to not be concerned about unemployment rates and unemployment and who's working and who is not working, and it seems to don't even affect you with what you have going on, so it doesn't seem relevant to your life. Why should I be interested in politics and I'm in the streets? Politics has nothing to do with my life. At least that's how I felt. And I'm quite sure as many of you out there that feel the exact same way. So while I was out there running in the streets, so no matter who was the president, no matter who was in office, I never felt any kind of difference no matter who was in the office, because I was in the streets. And streets had nothing to do with my with the politics of the world. It seemed like when I used to turn on the TV and I hear them they talking about all these different things with the politics, sometimes I would listen, but I would only listen to the things that I could relate to. Like, oh, somebody got killed, somebody got robbed, or somebody shot themselves. You know, anything that has something to do with either somebody going to jail, somebody committed some crime, or whatever. I felt like I was informing myself on things of the world, but really I was just focused on all of the negative things that this world had to offer. Didn't care about all that other stuff, all that stuff that requires you to actually think, that requires you to actually maybe do some homework on and study and figure out some things. I was a little detached from a lot of that stuff. So when I go back and when I first said that it didn't matter, or I never felt any difference no matter who was in office, not saying that they didn't make a difference when they was in office. It's just that me, a person in the streets, I didn't feel the difference. Why? Because I didn't have a job that I had to worry about being laid off from. I was the operator of a club that only consists of people that did have jobs. When they get paid, they come stand in line, pay money, and that's cash money coming into my hand. Cash money that can't be recorded, that can't be traced. And when you're looking at a club that's operating 7 nights a week, it wasn't just a regular dance club, it was a gentleman's club, a strip club with strippers and naked women and money. So when you look at somebody making cash money every night, whether you make it just a mere $100 cash a night, or you making $1,000, it's still cash money. So you're making cash money, and you don't even work in a situation, you don't even get money in a situation where you could be laid off. You know what I'm saying? It could be some slow nights at the club. It could be some nights where it's just popping off at the club. But you know, no matter what night it is, you're going to get you some kind of money. So if you live in that kind of lifestyle, when you flip it through the channels, you hear they talking about, oh, the unemployment rate is sky high. You keep flipping the channel, because that does not apply to you, because you make your money in the streets. So that's one reason why you're not concerned about the unemployment rates. So when you start talking about health care and all this stuff, that don't involve you either, because most people in the streets don't have insurance anyway. Nor do they care to have insurance. They just go day to day, don't care, and just hoping nothing happened to them, because everybody knows that if, at least in this day and time, or where I live at, that if you get hurt, you can call the ambulance, they're going to come get you. And if you get sick, you can go to the emergency room and they're going to see you. So that, to most people in the streets, that's our insurance, the emergency room. We get a headache, bad enough headache, we go into the emergency room. My head is killing me. We fall down, hurt ourselves, we go to the emergency room. Hey, I'm hurt, they're going to see us. So that's how life was. We get shot, they're going to see us. Before they might want to know if you have insurance or not, but for the most part, if you bleeding to die, they're going to address what's wrong with you. So the emergency room is, most people in the streets, that's their insurance. So we care about no health care. So once again, I'm flipping through the channels. So they showing the president in these different countries shaking hands with people, and you talking about oil and the gas. All we know is that people in the streets, that's the only thing that we understand is gas prices going up. Yeah, wow, man, the gas keep going up. I mean, we understand that clearly, because why? It affects us on a daily basis. You always have to get gas. You always need gas. There's no way around it. But you still don't investigate it to see why the gas. You just complain. You might even want to go in there and cause some problems with the cashier in the gas station, because you want to know why this gas is going up. But you don't sit here and watch the news and engage and try to figure out what all is going on with the economy and why this is that. You just accept what's happening. And that's what I did most of my life. In the streets, accepted what was happening. So when it got to a point, because everybody has a point in their life. I mean, I did this all my life. I'm talking about taxes. There's no such thing as paying taxes when you making street money out there. You making street money. She ain't paying taxes. So I'm like, wow, So that's another thing that the streets can't relate to. Taxes. You're making street money or whatever you're doing to make your money. If you don't have a job and you're not making it legitimately and you're just getting some under the table money, no matter what it is, and you're not paying taxes because you don't have a paper trail or anything to say that, hey, you work for this person and they took this out your wages. You have none of that. That means that's free money you make it all year long. So you go all this time without paying taxes, which that like I had did. Went all these years not paying taxes. And then when I finally came to this point in my life where I said, hey, I had a bad accident that just, from chasing money like I normally do. Had this very bad accident, just chasing money and coming from a club and totaled my car, flipped all these times and I broke my neck, my hip, my ribs, severed my left ear. I was out of commission for a while and I came to the end of myself and I decided, I said, hey, it was time to do something different in my life. Because I came to that point in my life where I decided that I need to do something different and I need to do something now. So when I came to that point in my life when I said, hey, I want to do something different, I still was accustomed to making that street money. So after my accident I got better, I went back to the club trying to get that street money. But the difference is my intellect on making money wasn't the same. I no longer had the eye of the tiger, and I no longer had that drive in me that was like, hey, I do whatever at all costs to get this money. I no longer had it. But at the same time, I understood how to get that money. But when you come to a point in your life, I believe, sorry, I knocked the camera over. I'm very unprofessional. But when you come to a point in your life, I believe, when you're just tired of doing the same old thing, then you're going to make whatever dramatic change you need to make in order to move forward in your life. So I went back for a while, tried to make money, and I was making it, but it was no longer in my heart. So I decided to make that change. Everybody has to come to that point in their life, and this blog is not to tell you to, make a change in your life. I'm just telling you what happened to me. And if you can benefit from what I'm telling you, then that's what this blog is about. So when I finally decided to give up the street life and all that stuff, that means now, hey, now I got to play this game by the rules of the world. I can't just be out there all on my own doing whatever I want to do, everything that I thought I was big and bad enough to do. I can't just do that no more. Now I got to play by the rules. That means I have to get me a job. That means I have to pay taxes. I have to do everything. So I remember me and my wife went and I said, I got to go ahead and file taxes, man. I didn't have a job or whatever at that time, but I had a record label. Then, you have a business license, then you're going to have to pay taxes on it. So I decided, I said, hey, man, I'm going to go down there and do the right thing, and I'm going to file taxes for all those years that I had not been paying taxes, which was about 7 to 8 years. Hadn't paid no tax. So I went down there and filed, and I owe all these thousands of dollars. Okay, put me on the payment plan. It is what it is. Now, after my accident, I have 4 boys all together. But the 2 that were living with me and my wife went and put them on Medicaid. That's something new I didn't know nothing about. I'm from the streets. In the streets. Anyway, making street money. I don't know nothing about no Medicaid. But I knew at this point that we were going to need some assistance because I got kids. I don't have no job that has health insurance. So I need some type of assistance. So we went down there and we filed, and because my wife from another country, she don't really get benefits over here, so I had to do it. And that was a hard thing for me to do as a man that's accustomed to making all this money in the streets. It was hard to go down there and say, hey, I need some assistance, especially when I know I still have the intellect to go and make that street money. But it was just a choice. So I went down there and and I applied for it, and then we got it. We got the Medicaid. So anytime, I got sick, I don't have to go to the emergency room. I can go to doctor's care or urgent care or any of these other places and just show them my Medicaid card. Everything was good. If I want to go and get my teeth cleaned or whatever, get some dental work, just go to the dentist's office and present my Medicaid card. So, even though all this stuff, it didn't mean my wife, money wasn't really coming in like it was supposed to. So I went down to get food stamps. That was probably about one of another hardest thing for somebody coming out of the streets to do. I had to go do it because I didn't have the resources to maintain my family in the matter which I wanted to maintain them. So I went down there, and on the spot they gave me the EBT card right there on the spot, and I'm like, wow, really helped my family out. So we buying food and we living, going month after month. I was working, found me a job working at this bookstore. I was cleaning stores. I went from running clubs and doing all this stuff that I was doing, and to now I'm cleaning toilets. But like I said, it was a hard choice that I had to make because I would refuse to let money drive me the rest of my life. And that's all it was doing, was driving me. And the more I got, the more I wasted, and the more I had nothing to show for it. So I'm cleaning toilets at Barnes and Noble's bookstores. So I'm in there cleaning every day, not even making a whole lot of money. I'm talking about making $200, not a week, a month. I'm making $200 a month to go in there and clean toilets. But that's the only job that I could find because I have a criminal record for the stuff that I did when I was in the streets, that I couldn't even get a job. I'm trying to tell you, I went and I applied for this job at the university, at a big university. I applied for this janitorial job at this janitorial service that worked there, and it was going to be paying some pretty good money. And I got turned down because I had something very small as an insufficient check on my criminal record. A little $30 check, bad $30 check I wrote to a cable company probably about 7 years ago that got paid 7 years ago, but it was still on my record. And because of that, because I had an insufficient check, they wouldn't even trust me around the mop in the mop bucket. That's a trip. Couldn't even get that job. So anyway, now I'm starting to understand this world a little better, because all this time I was detached from it. I was just getting cash money, blowing it. And it was just another day. It was the same routine every day. Wake up, come in late, come in crazy late, 5, 6 in the morning, go to sleep. Wake up by 10, get about 4 hours sleep, up all day, run around doing this and this, trying to get prepared for the next night. And I did this, I'm talking about 10 to 12 years. That was my life. The same thing over and over. Just got used to it. Thought I was going to die doing the same thing. That was just what my life was going to be. That I'm getting money, that it's okay. And there was times when I wasn't getting money, but then it was times where, things seemed like they fell back in my lap. But still, I was never to the point of having to go get a real job. So now that I'm, got a family and doing all that I got to do, I went out and voted for the first time back in 2008. But still around that time when I voted, I still was up to my old tricks. But see, this time around, when I said that, hey, we need to get this guy reelected, President Obama, we need to get him reelected. I went on a strong campaign on Facebook and pushing him every day, saying, hey, we need to get this guy back in the White House. And let me tell you why I did, because I wasn't no big, strong follower of politics. But this is when I realized something on a small level about this economy. This Medicaid thing I just told y'all about. The other week, I had a tooth that was killing me. So I just told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to go on to the dentist on Monday and get this tooth pulled. So my wife said, all right. So when I called and made the appointment, they said, okay. They gave me a time when I could come. And she said, do you have insurance? I said, yeah, I have Medicaid. And then she tells me this. She said, oh, I'm sorry, but Medicaid no longer covers dental work for adults in South Carolina. So I said, what does that mean? She said, it pretty much means that you're going to have to pay to have your tooth extracted. I said, how much is that? And I think she told me like $250, $270. And she said, do you still want to make the appointment? I said, well, let me call you back. But then I remember sitting there in the car staring, and I'm saying to myself, what the hell did they do that for? Why would they cut that off, Medicaid for adults to get dental work? That's what I said. I'm trying to figure that out. And it was right then at that point where I felt the effects of this world, this economy, and the things that people have been complaining about. It was at that moment when I finally felt what people have been feeling on a small level. Now, that's something small. And I felt it. And I said, wow, this is the first time I ever felt the pain of a decision that the government or the powers that be has made. Because now if I want to get anything done to my teeth, I need to get my money together, go out there and pay cash. So I'm like, wow. So it's some people out here that's really trying to do the right thing, but just in a bad situation. So it's like when I was doing the wrong thing and I was in the streets, I had money to take care of stuff, but I still wouldn't take care of it. But now I'm trying to do the right thing, don't have the money to take care of it, and then don't have no help. So I said, wow, I got to get out here and vote and start making a difference and trying to figure out stuff. So when I started following this election, I realized there's a whole lot of stuff that I don't know about. Like, for one, I didn't even know what electoral votes were. I remember I was sitting here because my wife is from the Bahamas. She don't really understand this thing and what we do. So she asked me a question. She said, why is the state of Ohio so important in the elections that they keep talking about? Here I am from America. I didn't even know either. So I had to pull out my old trusty Samsung Galaxy 3 phone. This lovely phone that I am doing this blog with. But I had to Google it, old faithful Google, and it told me why. And then I was able to tell my wife why. And then I Googled what the electoral votes were. Then I had to find out what swing states were. It was so much stuff that I did not know. But I said that there's no way I can learn everything. But when the time had came that I said, hey, it's time to vote, I said, I need to get out here and do what I have to do. But I can no longer be misinformed, because at some point, everybody that's out there in the street that's making that street money, the fast life, the politics don't matter to you like it didn't matter to me. At some point, you're going to come to the end of that life, because the streets do not last forever. Streets may be there in the natural. The streets, the pavement might be there. But you're going to either be in jail or dead and gone. And it's not an easy transition from that life to this life, because the struggles is crazy over here. The struggles is crazy on this side. But it's even crazy on that side, because everything you do over there is almost like you can't have a paper trail. The only thing you can show for it is a little bit of stuff that you bought with the money that you had. But you really can't leave nothing for nobody, because everything is so dishonest. And when you live a dishonest life, and you come on this side and try to do right, then you start to see how evil you really were, how stupid you really were, how misinformed you really were, and how you had no admiration about nothing, and you thought you was being successful, you thought you was doing something, you thought you was something because all the people cried around you because they wanted something. But when you get on this side, when you come on this side, the political side of the world, then it shows you what you're made of. It shows you what you could do with this brain. And the same way I got on Google and found out what all these things were that I was missing out of my life, and I'm still Googling stuff, I could have been doing stuff like that. Just didn't have it in me. But this blog is just to only tell you and show people in the streets that this is our mindset. This is our mindset. This is why we don't know about politics, because it doesn't relate to the lifestyle that we live right now. The street money has nothing to do with politics. Well, woe and behold, little do you know that nobody can escape politics. Whether you want to turn on your TV and read it and watch it, or whether you want to open up this newspaper and read it, and whether you just go into the corner to sell your crack, your drugs, or whatever you're doing, get your money and then go about your business, or pull out your pistol and rob somebody and then go count the money that you took from them, at some point, you're going to come smack dead head with politics. You're going to come smack dead head with it. And you're going to realize that, wow, I have nothing. Then you're going to start blaming the system. The system don't care about the people. When in fact, we don't care about ourselves. We care nothing about ourselves. All we care about is how we can perpetrate and front for people. And that's what I did all my life. Perpetrate and front for people. And then it was time to come on this side and do the right thing. I finally felt the effects of the American people and what they cried about and what they've been going through all of this time. And all this time how I'm making money. I could have been trying to make a difference in somebody else's life instead of spoiling myself. And now that I have pretty much nothing, I want to blame this thing called politics. But there's no room for blaming, because this blog is to inform you. And if you have been misinformed about politics, because it involves everybody. Any decision passed down from that White House, it affects the entire world. It might not affect you today, but it's going to affect you. Everybody grows old, if you're fortunate enough. So when you grow old, then Medicaid and health care and all these commercials that you turn away from trying to get to your favorite TV show that you ignore, there's going to be the same commercials and those same commercials and programs that you're going to be tuned into later on in life, trying to figure out how you're going to be able to make it. And I hope this blog that I did today, for the streets that was misinformed and for the streets that don't understand politics, I hope this blog today gives you a little insight of what's going on around you. Because trust me when I say, nobody is exempt. No one is exempt from the laws of the land. Nobody. So you need to start getting focused, pay more close attention. Don't just vote for the presidency. You need to vote at the local elections as well, because those are the ones that make the decisions for your state. So we no longer need to be absent in what we do. We need to be present in all that we do. We need to learn all that we can learn so that we can teach others. I hope you all got something out of this blog today. It's not a professional setup. I'm sitting in my bedroom. I got my poster back here of a book that I wrote. It's entitled From the Streets to the Scriptures by your boy Davine. It's available on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.davinedantzler, that's DAVYNEDANTZLER.com, and you can order my albums, my books, visit my blogs, follow me on Twitter. You can watch videos from when I was in the streets, all the stuff that I used to do in the streets. Then you can watch the transformation of the stuff that I'm doing now in the gospel arena. But this blog is created to be real. I don't want no fancy cameras and special lighting, because what's most important is what I'm saying. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you tomorrow. God bless you.